Hello. All right. Let's just get some. 1 second. All right. Hello, Shifter. Let's get some music in here. This time we have no Kainga music. Actually, we could, but I've got some other music. Age of Empires. So we're doing something a little bit different today. Um, let's see. Make sure those levels are okay. Let me know if the music's too loud or whatever. But yeah, sounds great. Hey, behind the dev game, yeah. So here we are in the Unreal Engine. This is how the game is made. So this is like one of the maps, the terraces. Of course, this is just all placeholder. This all gets deleted as soon as the game runs, and it instantly creates a new map. Let me know if the music or sound is off, and I'll make adjustments. So yeah, all the information is, I don't want to explain basically how the whole game is made, but I figured I'll just kind of jump in and then you can ask questions as you want. But yeah, if you click play, then it loads up the game. Just as you would normally with everything else, just like the normal game. There's a couple colored markers for different checks here and there. I turn them off or on as I need them. This is for checking for the entrance of houses to see if they can, if they need to build a ladder or steps or things like that. But yeah, but that's not what we're doing today. Today we're going to jump into creating a new technology. So by popular demand, I'm going to add mushrooms. So here I have a big list of all the technologies in the game with all the information of that technology. It's basically all the structures, and then also passives as well. So this adds the like little icon into the hotbar and things like that. So at the bottom, I see we have 312, so there's a lot. Not all of them are visible, so like once in a while there'll be something that's not actually visible. But it's all here. So what we're going to do is we're creating a new farm type. So what we're going to try to find is a farm to copy. Yeah, let's start with that. So I know that the farm row seems fine to me. And all the, yeah, farm row seems fine. So I'm just going to duplicate that. It gets added a new row at the bottom, and we'll call this farm mushroom. So I have some ideas for this farm to make it different. Basically, I want to make every technology a little bit different. I mean, the farm row and paddy are almost the same, but still they have their unique aspects. So this name has to be copied here for the second row. Oops. And then I think I created an icon. So the idea for this one is going to be that it's on a log. Basically, in Japan, they grow mushrooms on logs, or at least they used to. And I want to have the log leaning against a cliff. So I have a unique cliff placement. It has to be against the cliff wall in order to build this farm. So let's call it a mushroom log. And then we'll put a little description. So that's the name that you see. This is the name that the game knows it as. And we'll write, what should we write? A log farm that grows mushrooms against a cliff. So I kind of tried to put in the description the bonuses as well, but because sometimes people don't see the bonuses, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't read the description. So it's good to have that information more than once. So here's the build materials. So we'll make it out of logs. Done. And then bonuses. Screen is a bit blurry. I can't really see the small text. Ah, that makes sense. Oh, wait. I think you can't see anything. Huh. What I see on my screen is different. Oh, you're seeing the wrong... hold on, sorry. We've got the wrong thing going on here. Let's try to move to this. No, that's not right either. Oops. Okay. That's fine. You can see what I see perfectly. You only see the engine, right? So you didn't see everything that I did. So basically, this is the big list that I was talking about before. With now we just added the 313th technology here. Yeah, I think I'm not really competent on the the OBS that well, so I think it was only showing you this one tab here or something. I think it was frozen actually. But basically, this is the game. I don't know what you saw, what you didn't see, but this is the game in the engine, and you can play, and it opens up the game as you know it. But we're kind of going into the technology list. So this is where all the technologies of the entire game are kept. So for example, the spear logger, and it has all the construction materials and everything. So I'll just jump down to the bottom one, farm mushroom, which we just added. I added the name, the mushroom log. I added a little description. I added the icon, and then the build materials. So here you can add, as many as you want. Although we'll see later that it kind of depends on what you do later, actually. So now we need some bonuses. So the bonuses can be anything that pops up. Let me show you really quick. Sorry if the music is a bit serious. It's Age of Empires. So when we play the game, and we get our technology list, these are the bonuses. So all these that come right after all this information, and there could be multiple bonuses, and they have like a mouse over tooltip. All right, so let's hop back out of here. And in this bonus, I have to go check my bonus list. So there's a lot of bonuses as well. There's 142. And I want to look for cliff. I'm pretty sure I have... Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is built on a cliff edge. Can only be placed alongside a cliff. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I guess this is okay. I'll go over to the other list. I can check what the monuments. The monuments uses the same bonus. Oh, it has none. Well, it should. So I'll put it here. And then we'll go back to our farm. Mushroom farm. And we'll add this placement. So it should come up with that bonus as well to kind of place along cliff. It should be a different icon, but I'll do that later. So it is in the archive, yeah. This is the percent chance to roll, and then also we have the quality here. So let's make it a rare. And we'll do the percent chance is like 7. I usually do between 5 and 10. And then some really rare ones will be like 1 or 2%, because it's actually not really percent. It's all the chances are added up together. And here's the requirements and results. So that's like what it takes and then what it produces. So I'm going to say, well, it doesn't need to be rebuilt. So actually we can delete the requirements. and then we'll say it builds food mushroom. And I don't know how many are gonna fit, but I'm hoping 3. And then it has a size as well, so that's good. Prerequisites we don't need, blockers we don't need. This is for like technologies that you must have before this even appears, or technologies that if you have them, this cannot appear anymore. Tech category, which is food, which is the most important. It has all the different groups of food types. I think it's still pretty small, isn't it, the screen? But yeah, it is what it is. I think maybe I could try to... I have a large screen, so... But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about anything. The cost, this is how much it costs in the shop. So I guess this will be a purchasable tech. So let's say it costs 3 karma, and it's in unlock group 2. So that's there's 5 groups of technology, so it comes fairly early on in the progression. This single-use checkbox means it can only be placed once. And then we have a starting mesh. So let's get our log ladder. I think we have one here. Yeah. I'm going to reuse this log ladder mesh. I try to recycle as much as I can, but almost everything gets a brand new model. So this is a good exception. Capacity is how many people can build it. That's fine. Structure size is fine. Health is pretty low. Let's double the health to 100. It has no entrance, so it doesn't have an arrow like houses do. And I think that's good. And these are the... no, we don't need that. And these are the synergies. So we don't need the synergies. I'm just going to delete them for now. In the future, perhaps a larger cursor so it's easier to track your mouse. Can you see the mouse? Or different color mouse? Yeah, it's kind of, everything's a gray and white. It's kind of one of my problems with Unreal Engine, actually. Hold on, let me, sorry for the weird zoom really quick. I'm gonna try to fix it really quick. Oops, cancel. Oh, I know why, that's why. Oh no, this is back to the other one. No, this looks frozen. Yeah, that's frozen. Oh, this works. Okay, okay. Sorry, I was just trying to get the stream to work correctly. Maybe I can increase the resolution size. I should have done this beforehand, but here we are. Let's see. If I make the resolution smaller... Oh. Oops. Oh, okay. Now it's like a really old school version of a monitor. I think... Oh, well, that doesn't help, does it? Okay, instead of just messing everything up, I'm just gonna put it back to how it was and wish for the best. I'll try to explain everything as I go along. Maybe that'll just help out somewhat. It's not really to know how to do it for yourself, but just kind of get the idea of what it looks like. So the next step that we're going to do, so we added in the technology into the list. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to make the model. Is this working? No. Of course not. Okay. We're going to make the model. Sorry, I'm flipping through screens. So here is Blender. This is a totally different program. This is a free program that where you make models. So I was working on a Mastodon saddle. So we can get rid of that. This is not the best way to do things. I have a lot of technologies all in the same spot. But basically I want to create a mushroom. So let's add a mesh, and then we'll start with a cylinder. And we'll make it as best we can. So I like to do blocky meshes. Let's make this a little bit bigger since we don't need the rest of the screen. And then this point in the middle where this red and green axis crosses, that'll be where the center of the mesh will be, or the center of the object. So here we have a cylinder, and then on top of that, we need like a mushroom face. So I'm gonna basically just expand this and then make it smaller as we go up. To kind of look like a mushroom. I mean, that looks pretty good. I don't know how it relates to something else, so that's why I kind of like to keep these things here. So this is the pie. So I think it's probably too small, isn't it? So we can... I'm gonna set the... I'm gonna move it up. I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger. Move it up a little bit, so it's about as tall as a pie, as the pie technology. That's probably too wide of a base, so I'm going to make that a little bit smaller and then put this back at the origin. There we go. So I also did create a texture. So let's break open this other side. So basically that's, I mean, a lot of the technologies are a lot more complicated than this, but it should be you know, as basic as it can be, basically, to fit in with the rest of the game. So this is, yeah, it's not bad. I did make a 2D, so Quang's asking if I made a 2D drawing as well. I did. I'll show you in a moment. So I'm going to open up I drew a texture for this as well. So open up ding, 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 ding. It's kind of hard to find. Let me see if I can find it here. Somewhere I have... this is the new meal dish I added. Here we go. This seaweed. So I'm creating seaweed as well, but I thought I put the mushroom and the seaweed textures on the same spot. So this is not exactly how I want it to lay out. So basically these shapes are laid out on top of this texture, and that's what arranges the texture onto the mesh. So I'm going to unwrap this, or sorry, and it kind of cuts everything and puts it into place. But I don't want it like that. I want to do this separately. That's fine how it is. That's the underneath part. So that's going to go here. Basically just like that. Looks good to me. I want to wrap this as well, so I'm going to get everything on top. I'm going to do like that, and that takes everything on top, and I'm going to put that right about here. And yeah, it looks good to me. We'll check how it looks later, but yeah, so far so good. Oops, that doesn't look good. Let's try this wrapping. So yeah, so that's the stem, and I'm going to put it... I don't want it too narrow, so what I'm going to do is these can actually overlap each other. So I'm going to take half the stem and overlap it. I'll just split into thirds. And now overlap this here, and then get the other one, other third, and put it here. So let's take a look at what this actually looks like once it's all... So we have each piece. This is the bottom. We don't actually need that. I'll put the bottom here. There might be a case where the bottom gets seen, but unlikely. So let's go to... Where is it? The view. I can't remember. I'm like, normally I do this subconsciously. And now that I have to actually think about what I'm doing, I can't even remember how to get to the different view modes. I thought it was W. I cannot remember. Some way there's a way to check the textured version. Oh, first we have to mark it as a texture. Oh no, it might be already, but we should add a texture. So we'll put a material called mushroom. And then we need to add it in here as well. This is kind of annoying. You need all these different windows. I have this window really tiny because I hardly ever need it. But yeah, basically this, I'll connect this small little dot here. There we go. So it is already colored. Yeah, so that's basically what it looks like. I drew these spots kind of like a giraffe because I didn't want to do the regular circle mushroom spots. Underneath it has these lines, and then the bottom is brown. That's fine. Let's see if we can move these vertices in a little bit. So yeah, I'm just gonna move these inwards a little bit so it has a little bit of... that's okay. Actually, it was better before, wasn't it? Yeah, just leave it so they're straight. And that's basically it. So then let's export this mushroom. I like use the selected objects only. So there's then we have our mushroom mesh. Export. And then we're done with Blender. Well, maybe not. We have to check the size. So let me, sorry for this. I think that's the best way to flip between programs. But yeah, so now we're back in the editor. And let's go down to our props. This is where literally I have all the objects of the entire game in one folder. I know this is not the best way to do it, but it's the way I like to do it. I have the houses in different folders and things like that. And then anything with bones I have here, which includes flags. Anything that has cloth or is considered to have bones. Oh, you can't see anything, huh? Something happened here. Oh, I see. Weird. Alright, I'm going to swap this to this again. It's fine. So basically this is my bone. Something weird about the way OBS is like, it only tracks one thing. So when I hovered over something, it was only showing that tooltip instead of the actual engine. But basically, yeah, so this is all the objects in the entire game in one big folder. And so let's add it into here. Add import. And then we just import from my Blender folder. What did it call it? Mushroom. So again, it's just all in one big folder, just because for simplicity's sake, it's easier to search for something. Mushroom mesh, there it is. And then it has a bunch of settings and things, but don't worry about it. And then there's an error that always occurs, and don't worry about it. And here it is. It looks pretty small, but not bad, I think. For comparison, we can take the crop. This is kind of what I will... Oh, no. We'll take bamboo for comparison. Actually, it's huge. Okay, it's bigger than I thought. Yeah, so now we need a texture since it's gray. It has no color. So let's go to where the textures are and make one. So they're called materials, actually. So what I'll do is I'll create a... this one has color. We don't need that. I'm just going to take a basic texture of some kind. Like this durian. That's fine. And I'm going to duplicate it and call it material mushroom. Basically, this is a the durian, which is the plant-eating texture. This is a flat version. And I'm just going to swap it with the one I drew for a mushroom. So, oh no, it's called seaweed because it has the two of them together. I'm trying to conserve some space. And then I don't know if you noticed, but it was pretty blurry. Actually, this one has blank space, so I need to change this to the seaweed has like you can't really see, but it has it's supposed to have some see-through areas. So I'm going to change the base to be a see-through version. Let's like the I think the bamboo. Yeah, we don't want the bamboo. We want instead the seaweed. So now you can see that those cracks are see-through. I don't know why the background is like some high school or something, but yeah, so these cracks are see-through. That's for later. It's not actually necessary for the mushroom, but it is what it is. And you can actually change the hue if we want to change the color of the mushroom. So each material has its own specific parameters that I've created. The reason why this one has a changeable color is because bamboo can change color depending on its height. So with this saved, looks good. Then we can just add it to this mushroom and see how it looks. Actually, it looks pretty bright. So in the game, there's a post-processing. Actually, it looks really bright. There's post-processing which changes the colors somewhat. It looks pretty shiny. Let's see if we can change that. I'm going to change the base again to something else, not the bamboo. I'm going to do the one of the roofs. Let's see if that changes anything. No, it's a bit bright. Well, okay, we'll have to change that later. So we'll delete these. We'll go back. I'll set this as the base texture for this object. Actually, looks great here. Nice orange color. So yeah. Let's try it out. Let's see the rest of it. So what's next is we need to create the system itself. So we have the mushroom, we have the information in that list, and then now we need the actual structure. I call them structures. They're buildings, basically. So each building is in a category based on the behavior. So, like for example, you can see this fishery is it's not just fish, like it's things like what do you call it? Fishing tower, a fishing net, but also the hermit, like the glass blower and the stone mine. And the reason why those are the same as the fishing tower is that the function is the same. So basically, a worker goes to work at it and then gets something for free after some time. So like a timer, and then they get the resource. Basically, all these technologies work the same way. So we need to, in this case, we're going to do the farm, because basically the worker goes to the farm, does some digging, and then the crops grow. So that's a function that we need as a part of this mushroom. Yeah, so these are all the different types of farms. There's a lot. So let's add the next one, which is the farm mushroom. So this has to be exactly the same name as what it is in the big list. So I'm just going to copy it because otherwise it won't work and I won't know why. And then here, basically, this is a lot of information I'm realizing, but basically in this farm folder is all the functions and all the actions that farms can take. So there's things like when it begins, it does these functions. When it's placed, oh no, while it's being placed, it has these functions. When it has finally been placed, then it has different functions as well, like the updating models, when it's destroyed, things like that. So there's a few functions we need to change, but basically they're all here. One of the main ones is in the construction script. So this is when the object is created. So what it sets up here is, let's take a look at the farm row. It checks which farm type it's going to be, and then it's the farm row sets the model. Actually, it doesn't need to do it this way. You can just hold on, let me move this stuff over. This is all the information on that list that we created here. So here we have farm mushroom. It has all the information of the farm, of the mushroom farm. And actually we can use the model here, but that's okay. So these are one of the first things I created, so there's a lot of old code in here as well that I should update, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, we'll take all these. I don't know if that one's the same, so I won't do that. So basically it creates the static, it sets the mesh, and then it's gonna set the crop locations. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy all this from the farm row and then just set it up as we do. Farm mushroom, I took it down from the bottom, this farm mushroom, and then we want to set the mesh to whatever we set it at in the list. And then this is a slight adjustment of location. I think that's fine how it is. And then here's where the crops should go. Crop number 2, 3, 1, and 4 in that order. The reason why I did that order is so, well, there was a reason before, but it's no longer relevant. So then we have to find where the crops should grow. So it's going to be tricky to guess, but basically we only want 3 mushrooms. So this one we're going to cut out. In fact, I'm going to destroy this 4th crop. We don't need that. And then I'm going to guess that these are okay except for the height. So the height has to be from tallest, let's guess 150, 100, and then 50. So it kind of gets, I'm guessing well, let's get the model out. We can just, yeah, we can check. Sorry, I need to go to my props, and then we can find the log ladder. And here we go, there's the log ladder. So I'm going to put this location at 0. So if this were to be our farm, then we would need our mushroom. If we're going to do 3 mushrooms, then we need it to be so it's at 50. I'm typing in the right side here at the where the locations are. So that looks good. Something like that. Want to do 1 here, and then 1 here. So add another one and put it about here. Perfect. And another one right about here. Like that. So that's how the mushrooms will grow. Maybe they're too big. Or too thick, maybe. Anyway, so this is 160 on the X and 170. So let me just put these in really quick. I wasn't far off. And then we'll get the second mushroom. Minus 100 and 110. So that's the height. Z is the height, and X and Y are the green and the red arrows here. Z is the blue arrow. So we're going 50 up, and then, because this mushroom is 400 up, so only 50 more, and then minus 40, so X direction. I don't know if I'm explaining this well at all. I think it might make sense to somebody who knows what's going on, or maybe not even. Who knows if this is the thing, because I learned all of myself that I have no idea what other people do. Is this the place where you choose if something takes repeated resources? For example, needing reeds for each crop row rather than 2 bamboo for the fishing tower to stay forever. Yeah, exactly. So the fishing tower works totally different, right? Where you build it once and it's done. And then all it needs is one person to operate it, and then it just it works. Whereas the crop row, you build it once, it grows the crops. Crops are grown, the crops are harvested, and then you rebuild it. We can set whether you have to rebuild it or not later. But yeah, what if you use the true ladder model, since climbing poles have variable slopes? No, they don't have variable slopes. The climbing pole has one slope, it just has variable lengths. And then the flat version of the climbing pole is just the same model, but rotated downwards. So it's rotated like this. So it looks like it's flat. So yeah, this is what we hope the farm to look like. Well, obviously this is to be colored, but yeah. So we have our 3 crops. The 4th crop is destroyed. The build box I'm going to leave, and the shape and all that I'll leave for now. I think it should be the same as the crop row, which is like a long build box. And we'll see that in action when we can. So that's basically what we have to do. We have to find other areas where we have to change the information. So I'm going to jump around to other things. So here's an event when it's raining. So when this gets rained on, things like the bamboo farm, the Inley farm, the reeds farm, they all grow a little bit. Their crops grow a little bit. The farm row and a new farm I'm adding, the farm pot, gets fully grown. Do mushrooms grow when it's rained on? I don't think so. So we'll leave that. Or maybe they do. All right, fine. So we'll put the mushroom here. And so that means when it rains, the mushroom farm, all the crops on the mushroom farm will grow a little bit. So let's go to the next split of... So I'm going to all these switches where the code is different for each individual technology within this big group of farms. All right, so what's happening here? When it's flooded. So when it's flooded, nothing happens. So we'll leave it because this is on a log. It shouldn't be affected by the flood. Here, this is for clay pits. No, we don't want that. Where's this? This is the farm working loop. Oh, this is also for clay pits. We don't need that. And egg excavation, which is a future tech. Yeah, so that's... we have a lot of these, actually. So let's go to the models. This is when you're building the farm, what models it looks like. It's fine. I think we'll use the default. It should be fine. We'll see what the texture comes out as, but it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, the placement is actually important. This is a whole lot of code here that checks for placement. So all this code runs every tick, like every millisecond that you have the farm like on your mouse, and it checks whether it's able to be placed. So this is like all the this is all the soil types, which we don't care about soil types. The problem is, so this is all the code for the tree attachments, for the pear farms, for checking for water, for the inly farms. The problem is that no farms have placement based on their against a cliff. Hold on. If the design and function don't satisfy you, do you always polish it after a few tests? Yeah, yes, I always create it and then usually I let it sit and then I come back to it and say what needs to be improved. So where do we set things to catch fire? So let's check. That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good example. So let's look for ignite. Okay, no ignite. So each one of these red functions is the start of a function. So this is when the farm has been entered by someone, when the construction is complete, when it's been destroyed, things like that. So yeah, there's somewhere, one of these will be, so here's flooded, farm expire. So if actually, a lot of people don't know this, but farmers are on timers. So it's on an 80-second timer. I'm gonna bump it up a little bit. This is just to keep your farms from getting stale, basically. If nobody works it for 100 seconds, then it'll destroy itself. Yeah, so raining is now here. So if ignite is not event actor ignite, if this is not a part of this system, then it uses the actions of its parent. So that'll be like the base structure. But yeah, if I wanted to make it so a certain farm didn't ignite, then I would have to adjust that function. So let's go to another technology that mushrooms are actually a large swelling of fungus that requires a lot of moisture, usually after a rain. Yeah, so they actually grow after rains. I don't know if I want to simulate that because it would be kind of annoying to have to wait for rains to finish before growing a mushroom. But yeah, it's a good point. All right, so let's go to the fishery, and inside the fishery is one of these is the stone mine. So I want to take the placement of the stone mine. Where's placement? So the stone mine, if you remember, basically it has to be placed against a cliffside. So this is a total mess. My goodness, who made this? But I'll just take this information from the stone mine. I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to move it over to the farm, and then we're going to try to figure it out once it's here. So let's move the soil down so we have a little bit of space. And basically, if you haven't seen this before, these white lines are executions. So it kind of runs these lines in order from left to right. So here, after it places, it checks. We can check everything if you want, but basically it sees. It traces from the camera to the mouse cursor. So this actually took me a while to figure out how to get the game to know where your mouse cursor is focused on. And then it snaps to a grid. It doesn't have to, but I think it makes it a lot more clear. And then it checks if it's underwater, if it's not underwater, or if it should be. It checks if it's within the borders of one of your flags or your town center. And then it's checking overlap if it's on top of stilts. So this is an exception for farms because you can't build farms on stilts. And stilts are considered environment for placement's sake. Okay, I'm getting on a tangent. But anyways, yeah, so we have all of that, and then we're going to check the mushroom. Check the cliff side. So yeah, we'll do a line trace. It has from the actor's location. Okay, I think this is should be fine. It's only going to do 1 trace. That's okay. And then if it hits something and it's not initially overlapping it, then we're okay. So yeah, let's try that. Let's just see what happens. It probably won't spawn, but we'll give it a try. So the best way to know what you've done and what you haven't done, I'm getting a little scatterbrain here because I'm focusing on 2 things at once. But yeah, best way to know if things are working or not is to try it out and then see what's not working and then fix it. So I have a cheat menu here, which has all the house types, all the units, all the events, and of course all the technologies. So I'll go down to the bottom, and there we go. I'm surprised it got added in here. A lot of the times I have to go fix that, but here we go. So it says mushroom log, has the construction materials, it does say placed inside a cliff, which is not entirely accurate, and it produces 3 food. So if we click it, there we go. So it looks a little bit off. And it's red, it can't be placed. If you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a tiny red line. Maybe you can see the red dot. So that red dot means it's hit something. So it's looking for a cliff, basically, in front of it. Okay, so first things first, we need to move the log backwards a bit. I think. Or do we want to move the box forward? Let's move the box forward. So we go back to the farm, go to the construction script, and then we find where it says build box. Here, build box, and we move it forward. I think X, actually forward I think was negative. Let's move it -100. See how that looks. And this is basically the loop of my life. So I don't actually need a campfire. Well, I do need a campfire. So I need a campfire to place buildings. So yeah. And then a mushroom log. This was actually a lot easier before when I could save technologies into appearing automatically. So there we go. The build box is correct, but then the placement or the selection box is now not correct. And that is a okay placement. Sure. So we want to move the selection box. And then I'm thinking, maybe is it too tall? Anyways, I might have to do a new, let's go back, sorry, and then we'll change the selection decal to be the same distance to the left. And then something else I noticed was the placement, it should check, I think this was 50, right? I'm just changing the exact location of the check where it's checking for a cliff. Yeah. So once the placement is okay, then we can add the crops. We don't need a house, but thank you. And then we go, I use my cheat menu, go all the way to the mushroom log, and wow, that still is not right. So you see how the selection box is not quite the same as the build box around it. So the build box is that tall box, and this is too close. So it should have a. It should check if this should be acceptable, right? So we need to make the check for the cliff closer to the cliff. Right now this is acceptable, but that's not really going to work, is it? So, and this should not be acceptable, so that one is ideally acceptable. All right, so I'll go back, and then we have, what was it? Let's do negative 100. Oh no, not that. This should be the forward vector. I see. So that's its forward direction. In this case, backwards because it's negative. So I'm going to add 50 to both of these. So that would be 140. Actually, let's add, I think we add 100. Let's try 50 first to 190. So that's the range that it checks to see if it hits the cliff. And then the other thing we want to change is this should be further to the right. Let's check it out. And I go back all the way down, make my mushroom log. And again, the cliff checking isn't correct. But the boxes look correct. So we're getting somewhere. Slow and steady. So I don't know if you can see that red line. It's probably too small for the stream. But that's the line where it's checking for the cliff. So it needs to be further that way. So I'm going to adjust that again. Let's do 190 to 240. And this is going to maybe cause some weird results down the line, but because if there's like a cliff, there's different shapes of cliffs, so it's still not acceptable. Oh, I think it's too far. Wow, really? Okay, I don't know how that's possible. Okay, well, if it's too far, then let's do 150 to 200. Let's just do 100 to 200. This is all important. It's like annoying but important stuff because it determines whether it's basically game feel in a way. So if buildings are placed correctly or how it feels to actually build them is very important. There we go. So that works. Yeah, it's kind of how I expected. The log can float. So why can it not be placed here? Oh, because it's overlapping the campfire. Maybe that was the problem last time. Oh, I see. The direction is wrong. So it's... I see. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. So I actually want to flip these. Okay, so I think that's good. We have the crop locations. Now we need the crop itself. So when the construction is complete, so this is a different function. When the construction is complete, we need to make the farm mushroom. So what should happen when the construction is complete? Basically, at the crop locations, we loop. So at each crop location, no, this is for soil types. This is changing the soil type when the crop is placed. We don't want to do that. That's not relevant. We can make the crop auto grow, so it kind of grows on its own without being worked, like bamboo. And the inlay farm actually auto grows as well. I don't think that's relevant, so let's just skip this for now. What we need is where the crops are added. So let's find the crops themselves. Okay, when the farm is placed, no. I need to find where the crops get added. No. Okay, here we go. So when the construction is complete, after it runs the function we just looked at, it'll grow crops at each one of the crop locations. And this is the crop type. So we need the crop type to be a mushroom. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this crop type to be mushroom. And then we'll build the actual crop. So these are all the crop types. Rice, corn, potato, reeds, mud, pear, lotus, pie is a crop. Coconut, bamboo, a flathead. This is for something later. I'll tell you about later. Corn, and then seaweed. So in the farm mushroom, we need to add the crop type mushroom. So this is also an area where I say to use the dig animation or not. I'm not really sure in this case. Should I use a dig animation or a hammer animation? It's kind of hard to choose. I usually go by what I've already chosen in the past. So it looks like for the bamboo, I'm not using dig animation. So let's not. I should have another animation, like a working animation, but I don't. So there we go. I think that's good. So now we need to make a crop. We go back out, go to our resources. These are all the resources in the game. And everything from baobab to mangrove to beast corpse, which is technically a resource. And we want to go to the crop. And then I'm going to add a new type of crop. So where does this resource name? Okay, so basically crops have two phases. The first phase is a growing phase where it's not technically edible, and then when it's fully grown, it turns into a food type or a resource. So you can't cut like a bamboo that's halfway built and use it for your construction. Bamboo that's halfway grown, sorry, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I'm going to jump into find where this resource name gets set. Actually gets set when the crop is built. So what do we need to change here? We need to change the model or what it looks like, the crop mesh. So it looks like that's in the construction script. So when the crop gets built, let's change mushroom should look like what? So I can do this all in data tables. Actually, I should, but I this was built a long time ago. This system, I have a better way of doing it now, but I don't know if I want to spend the time to fix or like refactor these things, change it into a more efficient system, or just leave it how it is and let it be. So here we go. Basically, we want to set the static mesh, which is the mushroom we created. And we want to set the material to the mushroom material. That's it. And then it has a growth speed. So I don't really know what the growth speed is. Let's check some other crops and see how it should compare. So I think mushroom should be pretty slow. So corn is the base. So that's the base speed. It's actually the slowest crop to grow. Rice is a little bit faster at 1.2. Corn grows at 1. Potato grows at 1.4, which is pretty quick. I'm going to lower that. No, it's fine. People have been complaining it's not powerful enough. Reeds grow quick. Pears grow quick. Let's make it a little bit slower. Let's do it at 1. Yeah, same as corn. But I'll make it so it automatically grows. Where was that? Yeah, we'll make it so it automatically grows. That means it'll keep growing slowly on its own while the crop is not being worked. So yeah. So our crop is set the mesh. Is there anything else we need to set? I think when it's harvested. So again, this is all the functions of different things. So like if it drowns, like if the crop goes underwater for some reason, if the crop is destroyed, if it takes damage, what happens then? Oh, the health. That's fine. If it's selected, things like that. If it's rained on, what happens, and so forth. So let's see. We have the crop growing. When the crop is grown completely, so this is its growth speed, and then it gets added to itself, and then it grows in size, in vertical size. That might look kind of silly with mushrooms, but we'll see. So then once it's 100% grown, then what does it do? Well, it should create a... What should it do? It should create a... I think it's fine how it is, actually. I'm going to do this. So it grows the same as potatoes. That mushroom, when it's grown completely, then it can just go ahead and be harvested. What that means is that it's chopped from the farm, then the farm can be replanted. Otherwise, it will wait 60 seconds before actually chopping it. Actually, let's leave it. Let's leave it how it is. For now. So it waits 60 seconds before the guy who's working the farm actually cuts the crop from the farm to build a new one. But they can still be taken. So let's see if it works. I doubt it. Surely there's something that's wrong. But we'll try and see how it goes. Alright, so we need some houses because they're gonna need they're gonna want food. And then let's build this mushroom log. I actually have a cheat here to insta-build houses. So we'll build a couple houses here. Just so the demand for food is high. I'll turn that cheat off so we can see if this building works. Uh-oh. But the placement doesn't work. Can we build it on this side? No. Okay, false alarm. Can't be placed. Okay, so we have to go back and figure out why that is. I think it was because of when I flipped it. So let's flip this back. And yeah, let's check it out. So here we are again. I'm going to take my house type. We don't want something that we can't build. We could do sprout house. build a couple of these real quick. I get some, and then I want to build my mushroom log. And we still can't, oh, there we go. Weird. Okay, so place that. Get someone to build it. First, let's see if it builds. Oh, I saw him. Yeah, did you see him? He's climbing up the pole. So let's pause real quick. I have a check here. We can check the show navigation. So this shows the navigation mesh. And you can see that because we're using the climbing pole, they can walk up it. So this is something to think about, whether they should be able to walk up it or not. And probably not for now. So turn that off, but let's just see if he can build it. He's bringing the logs. And there it is, and our mushrooms come out completely flat. And this one's way to the right for some reason. And our log is gray, so we have some issues. But, I mean, the mushrooms are growing. It doesn't look great. I mean, it looks okay. So, a few things to fix is if you can walk up this log. I have some ideas. Okay, so the log mesh can't be walkable. This mushroom's way too far in the wrong direction, and the log has no color. So let's do the color of the log first. So basically what I'm going to do is go back to the, I think it's because just the log, yeah, when we built it here, it has no texture. So let's add one. Let's add a wood texture. What do you think? Looks good. Kind of looks like a candy bar, but I like it. Oops. So that's good enough for that. Now for the log, for the crop placements, I'm guessing, yeah, see here, this is negative, this one's negative, and this one's positive. So that's why it's way too far the wrong direction. That first mushroom. And then what I'm going to do at the end, or I put it here in the beginning, is take the mesh and say, how do we make it not pathable or not walkable? Can ever affect navigation. So this is permanent for everything. So I'm gonna, I don't know, do any of these farms need navigation information? I don't think so. So I'm gonna turn it off and see. This is how I create bugs for myself. I turn off something that affects all the farms. I'm hoping one of them doesn't need navigation information, but it is what it is. And then also we need to make it not have no collision. Actually, we can do that here because none of the other ones have collision. So we'll make it so it overlaps pawns, overlaps structures, and vehicles, physics, and destructibles. Cool. So let's see. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to change the crop size. So when you noticed when it was growing, all the crops grow from flat to 3D. But this mushroom doesn't look good doing that, so I'm going to make sure, I'm going to make it so it does look good, basically. So I'm going to say if the resource type is mushroom, then we can grow everything the same way. Let's move this all over a little bit so we can get a little bit more space here. And yeah. So this is how it grows. Basically, it changes the scale, and it's changing the Z scale, which is up and down. So what I'm gonna do is say, if it's a mushroom, pick A, so that it'll change the scale of left and right, and then or east and west, and north and south at the same rate. If it's not a mushroom, then just grow at a or start complete, basically. So let's see. See if that, I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. So now here we are. We have our new starting. I'm going to use my cheat menu to get the mushroom log again. And let's try to build it. So again, the placement is not great. But I'm going to leave it for now, just so I'll fiddle with it myself later. So you guys don't have to sit through that. But, ooh. Hey, this is not legendary anymore? Interesting. The color changed. So let's get some houses here. Let's build a bunch. So it didn't work, did it? Oh yeah, it did. Look how tiny they are. So that's kind of cool. So instead of growing just vertically, it grows all three ways, or all three sizes, or all three directions at the same time. So it's like, oh wow, mushrooms. How big are they going to get? Much bigger than you think. So let's see if they can be used. In fact, it looks exactly like the icon. Looking up here in the top corner here. Looks great. Let's see, if they build these houses, they're gonna get some food, and then they should get this mushroom farm. You can see it's growing. Producing mushroom, 61% complete. So that works as well. I have a lot of systems that kind of work dynamically to help it so I don't have to manually create all this text or things like that. Yeah, it's called the mushroom log. You can dismantle it, you can pause it. Oh, those mushrooms are getting pretty large. We're still at 85%, so there's still some space to grow. So our houses are complete. Yeah, so no food. Great. Perfect. And then when this gets grown, 99, 100. Okay, now it turned into something else. What the heck is that? So we have to change what it looks like when it's fully grown, and then also change the... Or can you chop this? This icon here, because it's not corn. Wait, I want to see if he drops it. What does it say? It just says food. That's fine, I think, but it should say mushroom. Okay, so what is this? We need to figure that out. And basically what it is, it looks like it's corn on the mushroom model. Or grass on the mushroom model, which is not correct. So, let's see, where would that be? Spawn actor. We don't grow a tree. Grow reeds. Grow food pear. So I think what we'll do is we'll copy this. This is growing for reeds. So what we'll do is we'll copy this. Well, no, it should grow a crop, so we don't need to copy that. If the default... Oh, it's setting the material to the ripened material. So the material is the, again, this rice. So that's what it was rice. So somewhere we need to find out where this is being set. Okay, so here we go in the construction script again. So this is the mushroom. The mushroom's material is mushroom. So that'll be that. So now corn, I don't know if you noticed, the corn has two different types as well. It has a 3D version, which is the crop version, and then it has a 2D version, which is on the ground. So let's check the 2D version. Also, what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to set the scale. I'm going to set this scale to 0 because when it first appeared, it looked flat. So I think that'll help. Is it relative scale or it's world scale? Yeah, let's add one more here, one more exception. This needs to be a mushroom. Yeah. That's fine. So we're setting the scale to 0. So it looks like nothing. You can't see it when it first arrives. Okay. Good. So now an item, there's one more piece of the puzzle here, which is the corn when it's picked up off the ground. And that is a different type of actor again, a different object. So we have a resource, and this is a item resource. So again, it's similar to before. It has everything here. Here it has burn, ignite, drown, all of the events that everything else has, and more. So it has custom events like water pop, so different items like ceramics. If they burn, then they'll explode into water, or things like that. And here, if it ignites, different resources will do different things. Here we have bucket, ceramics, water pots, or milk will all will pop with the explosion of water, or milk in this case. And if it's blast powder, it'll explode. Looks like if it's food, it'll do nothing. So it should actually put that there. So that was a bug that I just fixed on accident. Yeah, so let's move on. Let's say, let's check, is this, what this item looks like. So here we have all the item types again. I should put this in a data table. In fact, I might do it actually after this stream, because I've just been working a lot with data tables for translations, which has been a lot of work actually. So anyways, we need to add a resource type here, and we'll add mushroom. And if it's a mushroom, what does it look like? So pretty simple. We'll just add a sprite. Sprite is a 2D object. Oops. So this sprite looks like a mushroom. So I drew this image. So that's what it'll look like when it's dropped on the ground. Perfect, huh? I have another version of this, which is a mushroom in a basket. So we have to do that version as well. So when a Brave picks up an item, he can either hold it in front of him or behind him. So let's go to here's all the different AI types. We have beasts, animals, beastmaster, converters, which is like priests and sensors, the ranged units, thinkers, the trader, warriors, transportation, which has all the different boat types, and vehicles. Of course, there's classifications of those as well. So anyways, we'll go back to the Brave, and let me show you something really quick. This is the AI map for the Brave. So these are not used. You can delete these. These are all the choices that the Brave makes, how he decides what he's going to do. So on the far right, this is the least important task he has. This is idle. Second least important is bodyguard. So basically he'll do anything else if he's bodyguarding. He'll do anything else and then return to bodyguarding. If he's not bodyguarding, he'll be idle. We have things like celebrate, move to a resource. Here's a whole building structures. Yelling at someone. So yelling at someone is more important than building. Firefighting is more important than yelling at someone, and the farther left it goes, the more important it is. So we have combat over here, which is one of the most important things. Combat with people, combat with structures, combat with beasts, and then other people, yeah. One of the most important things is moving to the click location. So if you click, if you command them, you interrupt any of those tasks, unless he's dead. So that's that. Anyways, so here we are in the Brave. He has two of these groups. Basically, we need to do the same thing. These are all the resources. This is all the resources if it's carried. So let's add a mushroom here. Actually, no, it's not here. I did it wrong. I'll remove that. It should be here. That's because if he's carrying a resource and the resource type is food, then we go over here to the list of food types. So here we have a mushroom. And I'll put the mushroom down here, connect it to that, set this to the carry item, and add a mushroom. And I'm going to do the same thing down in this second group, and these are things that, this is what it looks like when it's carried with a basket. So it's basically an exact duplicate, except with basket textures. So here's the mushroom in a basket. It's basically the basket texture with a mushroom inside, and yeah, looks great. And then in between those, these are things that must be carried even if you do have baskets, like ink pots, alabastrons, and relics. Yeah. So, looks good. Oh, let me go back to the item resource. I have to change this one to be a food type. So this should be here. And then we need mushroom here. Otherwise it won't work, because mushroom must be a food. Not sure why I have milk in both spots, but must have been for a reason. Or a mistake, who knows? There's a lot of information in this game, like a lot more than people think, because it looks so simple. But you know, with Hundreds and hundreds of technologies. Resource types, things like that. Alright, so let's build a couple houses. I'm going to use my cheat menu again. Get my mushroom log. Get some people to build those houses, and then we'll build this mushroom log right there. Get some, I did do a secret cheat to add a few more people just to get the game rolling. But yeah, how are you guys enjoying the Age of Empires music? Pour myself a bit of water. Let's build a couple more houses. Keep these people busy. So our mushrooms are growing. Looks good. Houses are complete. Of course, they're going to pick up the corn first, which is annoying for science sake. So it does say food. I don't know if it always said, maybe it does, yeah. So I'm going to get this guy to pick up this corn and, I don't know, just hold it for a while, because these 3 buildings, I will just put them in the house. Alright, so the 3 corn have been eaten. And mushrooms almost grown. This guy is running past my village. Here's our people are yelling at them. We just prioritized over building, so get back to work. Oh, he's taking fabric from up here. At some point, they're going to get yelled at. No, don't bother with him. And then everyone's going to get interrupted, and my science is all off. Okay, so... Okay, guys. Don't worry about him. Oh, he took the mushroom already. And he went into the house, and it worked. So he produced a new guy with the mushroom. So let's force chop this one. Oh, it's so small. It's so small. It's supposed to be at least like double the size of that. But yeah, there you go. That's how it works. Now let's do some more cheating. Let's see if we can get baskets. Here we go, baskets. So get a new guy. And you can pick this up. There we go. So a mushroom in the basket. Actually, that is normal sized. So it must be just the image itself, which is tiny. I'll see if I can fix that. Alright guys, looks like we're getting raided over here. Okay, before things get out of hand, I'm gonna back out of this game. But basically, that works. I think what I have to do is change the image file. But yeah. Let's see if we can find this mushroom. Here we go. This is the mushroom I drew the other day. I think the image size has to be, it's 256. I mean, that should be plenty, to be honest. There's probably a way to fix it inside the, in here. So somewhere here there's going to be a scale, I'm sure. Downscale. What is that? So downscale. Do not use. Okay. Sure. Anyways, I can fix this on my own. But yeah, that's basically, that's the way that a technology is added into Kainga. Obviously, that's it's pretty simple. This one's pretty simple because I'm able to copy a lot of code that I've already used, but adding things like new beast attachments, I can copy some of it, but some of it, or I can reuse some of the code, but some of it needs to be completely made from scratch. So yeah, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, I think this is where we part. I'll fix up those texture sizes, get the placement improved on the farm itself, and yeah, then we'll be good to go on that particular one. I have another farm I'm making simultaneously, which is a I'll show you. I started working on it but did not finish because I was going to do it at the exact same time, but yeah, I thought I would do this one first. I'll show this one off. I started that one halfway through, so I'm going to use the cheats again. It's the seaweed farm. So this is an idea by one of the members of the community. Basically, build this farm in the water, and it grows seaweed. So basically, I just did exactly what I did with the mushroom. Kind of has a unique placement, has different, a unique model, a new resource type, but I didn't finish it because I didn't draw the texture for the seaweed or the items and things like that. And then I thought, oh, I'll do the mushroom at the same time and show it off. So yeah, thanks for coming by, and I appreciate you checking it out. And as you can see, it's currently growing reeds here. That's because I didn't finish. I got to that exact same point about halfway through the stream. But yeah, if you have any questions about dev, creating games or whatever, maybe I'm no expert, but I'm happy to answer however I can. I can show off something I've been working pretty hard on, which is the encyclopedia. So I'm not sure about this image yet. Still working on what it might be. Maybe something similar to this or a little more. Anyways, so it has here all the text. We have materials, resources, units. So this is similar to what we had before in the hub world, except now you can check it out in-game and figure out what's required to get it, or what groups things are in, things like that. You can also see, okay, what resources it takes, and then you can get information on that resource and things like that. This is the source of the resource, so some images are not placed yet, but for example, it has like fir tree, and then it has the biomes that are in it. You can check out the biomes with all the information, hopefully all the information you would want to know and more. Yeah, we have all our beasts, all our units and transports, which I have to say is a lot. Yeah, so we have kind of where they're produced from. Try to figure out oh, I want to get the halberdier. Actually, I don't know where this is from yet because I haven't unlocked that technology or I haven't discovered it yet. This is a synergy unit. But in this case, I have figured out these technologies, so that information is here. Then you can click on it and find out, ways to get the shield bearer, the shield barracks, and things like that. So that should be here, yeah. Yeah, so that's a lot of information there. Still a work in progress. There's some more information I want to add, such as like personal statistics onto it, like how many times you've used the technology or things like that. And yeah, that's that. I think that'll do for now. Man, this map is huge. If you're wondering, yes, I can use my cheats to create different events, like crustaceans and things like that. You can see how it traces its leg movement in the editor. I can also make lightning. Now I'm just showing off. Well, there you go. All right. Anyways, thanks for coming by, and I hope to. I'll do a live stream every Saturday or Sunday. I'm thinking about moving it to Saturday. And yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, check out the other videos. And next week we'll do another Let's Play and see some of the new technologies that have been added in. I don't know if you got a sneak peek from the information here, but there's a lot. Like I said, there's 313 technologies now, which is it's getting excessive. So yeah, all the best, and I hope to see you on the next one. All right, when the jam of the Age of Empire jams come on.